Ebou Adams is set to join Derby County in what looks to be a deal worth around £1 million. Ebou Adams looks set to sign on a 3-year contract as per the latest news from Steve O'Rourke from Football Insider. Now, we spoke a lot about this deal on the channel over the past few weeks and even really the past few months. Ebou Adams came into Derby and was an absolute revelation in midfield. Now, as much as completely understand, and I think he is going to be a very, very good signing. Be interesting to see him out there in Spain. I think we have to be very, very careful with this deal. He needs to build that experience, and he's going to have to rebuild partnerships within this Derby County side. Now, as we know, he came into a League One Derby County with Corey Smith, Liam Thompson, Max Bird and Conor Horahan as his midfield partners. Now, going into this season, we have the new man in Ben Osborne and Kenzo Goldmine. We also have a whole range of other players who are brand new to the squad. Now, is that going to make a difference for Ebou Adams? Now, I personally don't believe so. He's obviously going to continue in his role of what he did last year, where he was breaking up play and filling out the spaces to sort of protect that back four and build opportunities for the player, whoever it is that sits beside him, to build and create chances for our team, obviously. And obviously this season it looks like it's going to be Kenzo who is going to take that role. Now, you can let me know down in the comments if you think that that's going to be a very good partnership. But are Derby County going to play with a midfield 2 or a midfield 3? That's a big question in the back of my mind. Now, if we go back to just after the Matlock Town game, we heard Paul Warren discuss that he wants 4 brand new midfielders into that midfield column. Now, if you do bring in Ebou Adams as 1, that's 3 more. We go up to around 9 midfielders throughout some of the youth players who could step up, as well as what we already have. Now, although that depth is absolutely incredible, it may cause some problems for some of the first team players along the likes of Tyrese Forner and Liam Thompson, who may not get the game time they desire. Now, obviously, that does mean players will move out. We made a video all about that just yesterday, so if you have not done so already, make sure you do go and check that out. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL content that will be heading your way over the course of the next season. It's going to be absolutely massive on the channel. Daily videos, staying all up to date with everything going on in the Championship, League One and more specifically at Derby County. If that's something you're interested in, smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, let me know your thoughts on this video down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next part. And I do think this Ebou Adams signing is going to be brilliant. He came in last season, completely revolutionised the midfield, and I think we've never really replaced John Eustace. Now, I know that is probably 10 years ago at this point, maybe not quite 10 years, but I know it's a long time ago, and we've never really replaced that bite in midfield, that proper anchor, the proper protector. And I think we've obviously had Graham Shinney in there, we've obviously had Craig Bryson in similar sort of roles. Obviously Bryson was a bit more forward thinking, and now we've got what looks to be Ebou Adams going to take that position, and I think it could be a revelation heading into this Championship campaign. Having a player with the skill set of Ebou Adams will obviously benefit everybody in the squad. It will benefit the back 3 or back 4 that we play, because they won't have as much defending to do, because Ebou can break it up. It'll also give more opportunities for the likes of Kenzo and Mendes Lang, Barkhays and Blackett Taylor to get on the ball higher up the pitch when Ebou breaks up the play on a counter-attack. And these are the things that Derby County need. In heading into this season, it's imperative that we have defensive players that are like mega talented in defensive areas. I do think this season we're going to be a counter-attacking team, and I do think that although some people won't like it, I do think we're going to sit in. I think we're going to defend deep. I think we're going to defend compact, and I do think that that is what Paul Warren is looking for us to do. I think on the ball we're going to be a completely different animal than we was last season. I think we're going to see a lot more from those technical players along the likes of Corey Blackett Taylor, Mendes Lang, Kane Wilson, Joe Ward maybe, and obviously Kenzo in the midfield. I do think we're going to bring in like someone similar to Kenzo as well, because he's obviously not going to be able to play 46, 48, games, like guaranteed. You can never guarantee that in the world of football. Injuries happen all the time. Now, obviously, as we look towards the squad, you've obviously got to look at where else are we missing numbers. You look at the back four, essentially. If you look at the two centre halves, if we're going to play a 3, I think we're missing 2 players there. If we're going to play a 4, I think we're fine. I think at left back we're maybe missing something. I think we just need one more in there, depending on where Ben Osborne plays, because if Ben Osborne's going to play in midfield, then it completely changes the look of the left wing back slot, and I think you then definitely need one. Whereas if Osborne's going to play out at left wing back, I think you then need an extra midfielder. So it's one of those for me where it's going to be constantly being worked on by the coaching staff, and it's definitely something which we're going to be looking at. Now, there's not been many links over the past few weeks to any sort of players. The main talk has been about Ebou Adams. Now, there is some talk about an Ipswich Town defender, which I'll probably get into in another video, but I haven't seen a legitimate, proper source for the potential deal. Now, I think with defenders, if we're going to bring in someone young who's inexperienced, we might as well just keep Rooney and Darren Robinson, because in that position we can then give Darren Robinson more opportunities to play. Jake Rooney can have more opportunities to play. And for me, I think that would be better for the club to develop someone who we are going to have sell-on value for, not someone else. Now, obviously, we've seen with Ebou Adams that one good loan spell and the asking price goes from £400,000 to nearly £1 million for Ebou Adams this transfer window. Obviously, at the start of the window, it was reported by Darren Whitcoop that Ebou Adams was going to be potentially valued in between the range of £400,000 and £500,000, and obviously we've seen that double over the past few weeks. Now, everyone knows my thoughts and opinions on the fee regarding Ebou. Now, for me, if it's 500k up front and then 500k in add-ons, like based on appearances and survival and or promotion, things like that, then I think the deal could be fine. But it's just one of those for me where we have to be very, very careful with what we're doing with our money. I'd hate for us to go back down the same path we went with Mel Morris. Obviously £1 million isn't a lot of money in comparison to the £5-6 million that we spent on Bradley Johnson. I think we spent £5 to £7 million on the likes of Tom Lawrence and Tom Ince, who obviously were very, very good players for us, but it's still a lot of money, especially when you go and look at on those players we mentioned. The only ones we got return fees for was Tom Ince. So it's quite disappointing to obviously look back at that, and I just hate for Derby County to go back in that direction. I have every faith in David Clowes and Paul Warren that they aren't going to overspend, they aren't going to do things like that. I think they've been very astute in the business they've done since being a part of the club. Obviously, don't get me wrong, that first season I think players were given deals that were way too much than what they deserved, but it was a case of we had to put a team together, we couldn't mess about, whereas now we can sort of take our time in bringing players in, and that's something which I do believe we're doing this window. Obviously, we are less than a month away from the start of the season, and Paul Warren wants another 8 players in. I think we'll get another 4 through the door before the season starts, and I do think we're going to end up jumping into that Premier League loan market towards the back end of this transfer window. Now, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL League One and Championship content. We're going to get into all the League One and Championship stuff over the next few weeks, probably towards the start of August. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash that subscribe button. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.